Okay everybody, here's a quick before shot of the shirt. I got this from the men's department. It's very oversized. It was $6 from the Salvation Army and it's just not fitting. So here's a quick after shot. As we can see, much more tailored. It looks more couture. And please keep on watching if you want to see the tutorial. Okay everybody, so the first step is to measure the width of your shirt. For mine, that was 25 inches in the front. And then of course I multiplied this to 2, and that gives me 50 inches for the front and the back. So in terms of my waistline, I am 27 inches. So the shirt is of course 50 inches. And then we're simply just going to subtract my waist size. That gives 23 inches, but I'm rounding it down to 20 to basically account for seam allowances or any little mistakes that I make along the way. And now I'm going to show you a little bit of like an understanding. So of course the shirt has a front and a back side to it. Now I'm going to talk about this as side A and B for the front, and then side A and B for the back. That gives me 4 sides to work on, or 4 panels. So I'm going to divide 20 by 4, which gives me 5 inches per side to fold. And now for the 2 sides, I will be doing simply just 2 darts or pins of those. So that gives me a total of 8 essentially. So that 5 inches per side I'll divide by 2. Now we have the back panel. So for the back panel, I'm doing the same thing. Each side A and side B will each get 5 inches per side. And this is just to explain essentially where those inches are going. So I'm talking about the size of the folds. I'll show you, of course, once we actually get through the tutorial and the video to explain. But essentially, as you can see, each of those folds, for example, this is one panel, right? It has to equal 5 inches. So one of the folds could be 2 inches or the other fold could be 3 inches. Okay, everybody, so the first step is to turn your shirt inside out and simply just lay it flat. I'm going to work on the front side first. Now we're going to go and focus on one side. So as you can see, mine is 12 inches, but I'm parting it in the middle, which is around 6 inches. And then I'm making a mark. As you can see, I made 2 more lines, an inch apart from the left and the right of that middle 6 inch. So that is where I'm basically starting my folds. So the folds are an inch apart from each other. Now we're making the distancing between the pleats. So we made the starting points. Now what you're going to do is from this point to this next point, that will be the 3 inches. And then from this point to this point, that will be 2 inches. So that's the inner part of the dress, and the 3 inches is the outer part, adding up to 5 inches in total. So guys, what you want to do is now measure the length of what you're sewing. So this is pretty important. Mine's going to be 4 inches, and that's exactly what you're working on sewing. So you want to make sure it's long enough to actually hug your body. So here I'm just pinning it up, preparing it for sewing. At this point, this was actually trial and error. I made it a bit too short in the video. It was 2 inches, and then I re-sewed more to make it 4 inches in length. But basically this fold I'm holding, that totals about 2 inches. And the fold with the silver pins are actually, that's 3 inches in total. So it's pretty simple. Just make sure everything is aligned, and where you're actually sewing, make sure that that's your waist and it hugs you really nicely, so it's really tailored. Okay guys, so this is on the other side. This is the middle point, so this is 6 inches from here to here, and then an inch before that I'm going to start my 2-inch line, and then an inch after that I'm going to start my 3-inch line. That way it's 3, 2, 2, 3. Got it? Good. This is the correct clip. It's a video showing that it actually is 4 inches that you're supposed to sew. And yeah, make sure every line you make is aligned on both sides. So now as you can see, I'm going to be sewing this up and making it look really neat. Make sure you use, white thread, and always lock your stitches because this is sewing from the middle part of the dress and you want it to look at least professionally or really decently looking. Now laying the back flat, again, we're finding the middle, and my middle happens to be 12.5 because the length of my dress is, again, around 25 inches. This is the middle. I'm going to go 2 inches after, which would be right about here. And then 2 inches after, which would be right about, right about here. The back side, I decided to make it 2 inch 3 and then 3 2. So in the front, remember, we were 3 2 2 3. In contrast, for the back, I would like it to be 2 3 3 2 inches in terms of the distance between the pleats. So guys, I actually found a really cool technique. That way I know it's like super aligned. I made a square using like a little calling card to know like if it's like correct 90-degree angles or whatever. And then to determine whether you're actually reaching the middle, you just kind of fold them until the lines are like one. Does that make any sense? I feel like that's such a better way than what I was doing earlier, just kind of like feeling out where the pin is going. But yeah, just a quick tip. Last step is to simply just sew the pieces again. Again, the 4 folds, make sure everything's aligned, and then you're basically done and it's time to try it out. Alright guys, here's the fun part. This is the lookbook. As you can see, the dress is pretty cute and snatched at the waist. Of course, the most important part is really, placing that area and that corsetting or pleating. Of course, this would be better when styled, and here's like a quick little photo that I wore it with. The chain belt and vintage aesthetic is really important. I decided to keep the sleeve length the same just because I could always roll it up and it gives that like slouchy vibe as well. And here's more photos. Styling it with glasses or that little thrifted bag from my past thrift haul really works. This could be better also without that white shirt underneath, and maybe a push-up bra if your titties are flat like mine. But anyways, that's the video. One request is of course to follow me on Instagram at ACVTINA. And yeah, I post a lot of outfit pics there, and see you soon. Bye!